This episode of Test Drive is made possible by RateMyEV.com.
Welcome back to PR and Test Drive. I'm James, and this is the Mustang Mach-E Rally. Now, what you're looking at on your screen right now is the coolest looking Mustang Mach-E that money can buy you. It also happens to be the top of the line Mustang Mach-E that money can buy you, because this is now the top trim. It's above the GT, but they do share some similarities. Same horsepower number, same torque number, same all-wheel drive stuff, but of course the Rally has the off-road package built into it, so it looks really aggressive and really, really good. Now, I gotta tell you, the Mustang Mach-E platform holds a very special place in my heart, and it might not be for the reasons you think it is. The Mustang Mach-E was actually my first ever press car. So it's the first ever shot, it's the first ever time I got to stand in front of this camera for you guys, and I'll tell you, it's been a journey and it's been an awesome one. So thank you so much for watching so far. And yeah, it's just been a crazy full circle moment driving this thing at its top end now. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys. It's been an honor so far, and let's get into things. So what I think about the Mustang Mach-E, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say something a little bit hot takey. I think that under certain circumstances, this Mustang Mach-E Rally is the only Mustang Mach-E that deserves its Mustang badge. Let's get on the road and let's talk about it. All right, so on the road now in the Mustang Mach-E Rally Edition, and I've got some people on the side of the road absolutely staring at me, and that's cool. You know, it's again one of those things that when you see a Mustang in like just the normal Mustang, the gas V8 version, people are looking at you, and it's the same thing happening in my Mach-E. Even knowing it's a Mach-E, I'm still attracting those eyeballs, which again kind of gives it that little bit of a point where, hey, maybe it does deserve that Mustang badge. But also, you know, we might not have the speed, or we might not have the sound of the Mustang, the true Mustang, but we absolutely, without a doubt, have the speed. Check this out. Oh my God. All of my things went flying. I'm surprised my camera is still where I placed it. Goodness me, that's quick. So look, again, we have the speed here. We have a 91 kilowatt hour battery capable of a full charge at 100%, 426 kilometers of range. I've seen just over 400. I haven't gotten to that 426 mark yet. I think the GT trim maybe gives you a little bit better horsepower wise, or not horsepower wise, but range wise. Horsepower is the same, torque is the same. We have 480 horsepower, 700 pound-feet of torque. That is crazy numbers, and I mean, it is more than enough, absolutely more than enough, than, you know, to get you going in any sense of the word. It is just bang ridiculous. I mean, oh my goodness, I'm sliding around as I'm reaching, and it's not topping out. Like, it's not like, it just keeps giving me the juice. It is ridiculously fast. And I mean, I think it's giving me as much power because I'm at 97% state of charge. Usually when we do our EV reviews, I like to try to charge it at least above 80%, so I'm getting the max power. You know, unlike some, we like to charge our EVs fully here before we actually do the review. If you know, well, then you know what I'm talking about. Now, we've also got dual motor, so it's the all-wheel drive, which obviously adds to the ridiculous speed of this Mach-E. Now, in terms of charging, if you can find a 150 kilowatt hour fast charger, you're gonna go from 10 to 80% in about 35 minutes. So that's pretty decent, pretty competitive, and also Fords can also charge at Tesla charging stations, so that kind of improves that infrastructure there. But look, when it comes to straight line speed, this thing is a demon. I can't imagine what it's like off-road. I think it would be just ridiculous because I do have a Rally Sport mode, which will disable the one-pedal driving and, you know, allow even more power to the wheels and things like that for off-road. It'll allow a little bit more stability. The stability will be off, actually, completely gone. But I think it allows for a little bit more better handling in that space. So when you're ripping around off-road, you really want to have maximum control. You want to be able to get that rear to kick out a little bit, and it absolutely can do that because it does feel a little bit rear bias, this system, and probably for good reason, because you want this thing to drift. And again, when I think about a Mustang, I think about speed, and I've got that. I think about sound, maybe I don't have that. I think about the track, I have that, maybe not a cement track, but definitely a dirt track. This thing will absolutely light that up. I think about being able to drift, being able to do unique things, and also looking extremely stylish while you're doing it. And that's why I say, under certain circumstances, this version of the Mustang Mach-E does kind of deserve the badge, because it handles well, it's engaging to drive, it can do off-road, it can do on-road, and it's just a little pivot for the Mustang badge. But this one might just be deserving of it because it can do all of those things. It's just not loud. We're just missing the V8. And maybe for some that's enough to not considering a Mustang, and I'd have to kind of agree, but in some circumstances, this deserves the badge, finally. Probably for the other models though, I guess you could say, no, it doesn't, because it's more of an electric vehicle than anything else. But this is very special. This is a very special EV with a lot of personality. So as an automotive reviewer, I drive a ton of vehicles. I drive a ton of electric vehicles. And I always ask you guys to give me your feedback, because unfortunately, I can never know what it's like long term. I have them for a week and the vehicles are perfect. They're tested. If there's a problem before my week comes, they'll cancel my car because they don't want me to see the problem, because they don't want me to report on it. So I've been introduced to a website that happens to be the sponsor for this video, and it's called ratemyev.com. You can go there and you can find real owner reviews, long-term, short-term, and you can also find journalistic reviews such as the one that you're watching right now. So it's really a hub for everything electric vehicle. It's a great place. I think it is a great tool to have if you're interested in buying an EV. They only do fully electric vehicles. You won't find your hybrid vehicles or anything like that on there. You'll only find fully electric vehicles such as the one I'm in now. A really, really good tool to have. Go ahead and check it out, ratemyev.com, and let them know that we sent you. So I've mentioned to you that the driving is engaging. It's fun. I like it. You can get the tail out a little bit if you're off-road. It's probably an absolute monster off-road. I can actually put it into rally sport mode. It will disengage the one pedal driving and give me a warning. That's what that warning is. And also the steering becomes stiffer. The vehicle becomes a little bit understeery as well. And it is just a little bullet, even more of a bullet. And it just pulls, and I'm going to puke if I continue to do that. So yeah, driving this thing is really, really fun. Low center of gravity because we have that big battery on the bottom. It is heavy though. I will say ride quality is good because we do have an adjusted suspension to adjust for off-road, right? So that means that on-road, when you're going over bumps, it's a little lighter, it's a little more comfortable, which obviously always is a plus. But when I'm going over speed bumps, I feel the weight of the Mach-E. Obviously electric vehicle, it's going to be heavy, so that's something to watch out for. So driving is fun. What about the interior? Well, the interior is relatively a lot of the same that we've seen. I've got this huge, massive iPad screen that, back 2-3 years ago when I first drove the Mustang Mach-E, it was present. It looks very similar, although possibly a little bit faster. It's still not up to the speed that I would like it to be, but it's decent. You basically got to control everything from here. There's no physical buttons. They went with basically this simplistic model of including everything into this big screen, and if it craps out, that's it. You're done. There's nothing you can do about it. You're stuck with it, and that's the end of the story. Not so much of a fan of that, but so far, like I said, this week it's worked no problem for me. I've been able to control my climate, heated seats, heated steering, you name it. It's been fine. It's never glitched. So far, my ownership experience at the end of the week has been decent. But again, let me know if you own one of these things long term. Has your screen turned off, or haven't you had any software problems? And of course, can get over-the-air software updates. We've got built-in Amazon Alexa, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a decent B&O sound system. So I do enjoy that as well. We do have a gauge cluster, which is nice. They didn't completely take that away, and they didn't go the Tesla formula. So I do enjoy that. I like having a gauge cluster that shows me my range, my battery, whether I'm in one pedal drive, the gear I'm in, total kilometers, stuff like that. And my gauge cluster theme will also change with my drive modes. I've got a whisper drive mode, an engage, and an unbridled drive mode. So unbridled is obviously the sport mode, and then rally sport kind of takes it one level further, but I have all that information right there, and the theme will kind of change on my gauge cluster there. So it's very simple, but all I need to see is really my speed and stuff, so it's no problem there. For my steering wheel, I've got a simple little steering wheel. I like the white accents on it. I like the Mustang logo there. Physical controls for my volume, physical controls for my adaptive cruise. We like that. I don't have Blue Cruise on mine, but it is an option should you want it. I've got 3 seats of memory setting. My driver and passenger seat are power adjustable, so that's really good. And I also really like these seats. These seats, you'll find them in the GT, but I've got like this kind of white back to mine that look really cool, but also I don't really understand why having the white exposed plastic is necessary. It looks decent, I guess. And I like that we have the Mach-E Rally badge built right into the seat, like the little badge. It's embroidered right into the seat. I really like little touches like that. I've also got a wireless charging pad. I've got USB-C ports, USB-A ports, the little dial for the gear selector, which I don't hate. I prefer like a traditional one, but I think I prefer the dial over buttons, I'll say. And one thing that I had forgotten about interior-wise when it comes to the Mach-E was these little like chicken nugget door handle things. Like you gotta like pull it, and it's just weird from the inside. It's convenient. I mean, it works. I don't hate it. It just looks like it reminds me of a nugget. Like when I just touch it with my finger, it's interesting. But the whole vehicle is interesting, right? But I do overall like the design of the interior up front here. I like kind of the mix of, you know, plastic or black plastic or just black in general, and also kind of like the nice material that they have here on the dash. Splits things up nicely, looks decently premium for, like, you know, the vehicle costs around $67,000 Canadian, so looks relatively premium for that. And then when we talk about the rear seat, got a ton of room. There's no like transmission tunnel, so I've got a ton of room in the back seat as well. My daughter fits in there no problem. Babysit fits in there no problem. Wife has plenty of space when she's back there with my daughter, so absolutely no issue when it comes to the back seat. It is a comfortable place to spend time. There is no climate control back there, but there is vents. There's no heated seats, which kind of sucks. In this price point, would have liked to see at least some rear heated seats, but unfortunately we don't have those. But the room is really what I like the most. I need a lot of room for my child and the things that we, you know, when we go on weekend trips or whatever. I really do need a lot of room in these cars, and the Mach-E fills that area very, very nicely. So overall, the interior of the Mustang Mach-E isn't as flashy as the exterior, but that's kind of what the Mustang is. When I had the Mustang GT last year, well, the exterior was yellow, just like this one. It was flashy, it was loud, but the interior, you know, it had a good infotainment display. It had the digital stuff going on, and, you know, it looked decent, but it wasn't flashy. So again, it's true to the Mustang brand, and they're staying on point even with their EV version. Can't hate them for that. You really can't. So next, let's take a look at the exterior for this awesome looking EV. So we have the really aggressive looking daytime running LEDs, kind of the classic ones at this point for the Mach-E platform, but look really good. And then, you know, look, the elephant in the room is this yellow grabber paint color. It just grab your eyes. It absolutely does, with this black stripe right down the middle. I've had some mixed opinions on the color, but personally, I really, really like it. It helps the vehicle stand out, and I think if you own an EV like this, standing out is something you'd like to do. With this yellow paint color, you're absolutely going to do it. Now, new for the Mach-E Rally is the fog lights. If you get a Mach-E Rally, you are going to get the special edition of having those fog lights. And honestly, it looks so good on the Mach-E in general. They should just add it to the entire lineup. I mean, it looks really cool. I'd love to see the GT trim at least get the fog light treatment. Looks really good. Now, for the off-road stuff, we do have kind of a adjusted front bumper here, so you can see we have a lip, we have almost like a front spoiler. Looks really, really cool and aggressive, and it also improves the approach angle. We also have some protection on the underbody so that when you are ripping it around in the dirt rally, you know, you're underneath the floor. EV components are going to be protected, so it's a good thing that Ford thought about that. But overall, this front end looks really, really good. And in terms of front trunk, yes, there absolutely is one. It's not a big one, but there is one. Just the only thing is you kind of got to access it through the inside. You got to press the button and then pop the trunk. It's not something I generally am going to make use of unless my trunk is absolutely full, but after a week, I've opened it once to film it, and I've never opened it again. So when you look at the Mustang Mach-E from the side profile, you really get a good view of these rally rims, these all-white rally rims. And these are the rims, and this kind of side profile really is going to remind you of the Ford Focus RS, where it used to do its rally and stuff like that. They've kind of brought it back in the Mach-E sense and just slapping the, the trim and the package on there. I know a lot of you aren't going to be happy about that, but look, I'll take it if we can get it, because the Focus RS was a very cool Ford. But back to the Mach-E Rally, we do have the Mach-E Rally badge right there, so you obviously can tell that it is. I mean, if you couldn't tell by the styling already, you've got a nice badge right there, or a sticker right there. This is where you're going to be able to plug in your charge port right there. Very easy to do, no problems there. It's nice and in the front, so you can just pull up to the charge stall and you can use it like that. Now we've got the classic kind of button for, opening, closing the door with the tiniest door handle I think we have on any EV for the for the market now, but I don't hate it. I also don't hate the rear, how you press the button and the door kind of presents itself to you. It's interesting technology. I absolutely don't mind it at this point. It kind of is what it is, and so far the buttons haven't failed, and that's kind of the most important thing to me. But really, on the side profile, besides the yellow color, it's these rally rims that are going to stand out, because they really do look fantastic. So last but of course not least is the back for the Mustang Mach-E Rally. Got the iconic taillights for the Mustang Mach-E platform. And how often do you see an EV with a rear wing? I don't know many that have a really cool rear wing. This is my favorite part of the whole exterior, is looking at this rear wing. It really makes the back end stand out like crazy. We've also got these black stripes that continue here through the rear. Really, really good looking Mustang badge right there. And also, we don't usually see EVs with a rear diffuser, and here we are, we've got one. So really, Ford have really paid attention to, making the Rally a unique EV experience, and that much it is. But we of course do have a good amount of trunk space, automatic opening and closing tailgate as well. You got the privacy screen right here, tons of space. Again, I've been able to do Costco runs this week, and I've basically spent my entire pension, or whatever you want to call it. I've spent my life savings at Costco, like you do, and I've been able to fit everything here in this trunk really nicely. Haven't had to use the front trunk, but it's good that it's there in case I had smaller things to store. But no problem fitting stuff in here. You can fold these seats down and you'll have a ton of room. So that's gonna about do it for my exterior tour. I, of course, want to know what you think. Like I said, I've had a lot of mixed reviews on the overall look of the Mach-E. A lot of people told me it looks weird, and because of the color and because it's so unique, I've had a lot of the public come up to me and give me their unbiased opinion, pretty much. So some people absolutely love it, and others absolutely can't. I really haven't found anybody in the middle. But I'll tell you right now, I am in the camp of I absolutely love it. If you're gonna get an EV that you want some personality out of, there's no more personality than the Mustang Mach-E Rally. It is just really cool looking overall, and I think it stands out among all the basic EVs you see now. So I'll take it just for that. All right, so there you go. That is going to do it for all of my thoughts and just about everything I wanted to show you for the review of the Mustang Mach-E Rally. I mean, what an EV this thing is. Whenever I'm looking to buy an EV, or if I would consider myself in an EV, it has to have personality. That is like a deal breaker for me. If it's boring, I might not be as interested. But let me tell you, when it comes to the Mustang Mach-E Rally, it is the absolute furthest thing from boring. It's quick, it can go off-road, it can drift, and it is just eye-grabbing. And I love EVs, or just vehicles in general like that. And it's got personality like crazy. And it's one of the highlights of the vehicle. One of my favorite EVs that I've ever driven. One of my favorite EVs to drive and look at. Really, really well done by the Mach-E. I mean, I'll let you be the judge. You tell me, would you think in some circumstances, in the circumstances that I mentioned, it's fast, it drifts, all those things, do you think that maybe we don't cringe as much calling this thing a Mustang as much as we do when it comes to, like, say, the base model Mach-E? I think I've brought some pretty good points, but of course I always want to hear what you guys think. That is, of course, something I really like to do. I love to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about the Rally. You think it's still a marketing ploy? How many people you think are going to buy this thing? Personally, not many. I'm the only one around my area. I'm the only one I've seen ever. I've never seen a Mustang Mach-E Rally other than the times that I've driven it this week. Like, I'm the only one I've ever seen in my life, and I'm driving it. So I think same thing goes for a lot of people, and I think it's just because it's maybe too out there for some people, and obviously the price point is going to always be a thing there. But there you go. That's all I have to say for the Mustang Mach-E Rally. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Thanks once again to our video sponsor, RateMyEV.com, a really great source for your next buying EV choice. Like if you're ever in the market for an EV and you want to know real ownership reviews, RateMyEV.com, that's the place to go. That's the place that I'm going to be using from now on when I want to hear from real owners. When I have an electric vehicle, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to search up the vehicle that I'm reviewing for the week, and I'm going to get a good idea of what real owners are saying about the vehicle. That is super, super important because you can never tell long-term when you just have these vehicles for a week. So I need to hear from my owners, and that's an excellent hub to do it. So I'm so glad they decided to sponsor us. So thank you so much to RateMyEV.com. With that being said, I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.